The Logan Paul drama is now taking a new turn with a dramatic plot twist. I mean, this is like having Thanos on the ropes until realizing that he can still snap his fingers and then poof, we've got a 3-hour sequel. So Coffeezilla, who we know has broken this whole scam story, this CryptoZoo scandal, was preparing a response video to Logan's video, attacking him, retaliating for all the accusations. How can Logan be such a villain? It's all these other bad actors' faults. And Coffee was ready to go to bat, ready to defend his side, when all of a sudden, Logan Paul does a complete 180 and reverses course. So Coffee made a post on Twitter that Logan Paul called me, apologized, said he's dropping the lawsuit threats, deleting the rash response videos, and will be taking accountability, apologizing, and coming forward with a new plan. Logan Paul did actually remove that response video that we dissected and said was just absolutely horrible, just trying to cast blame elsewhere, taking zero accountability for anything. And he also took to the Discord of the CryptoZoo to make this post. Hey, all, just wanted to update you. I deleted my initial response to Coffee's series. It was rash and misaligned with the true issues at hand. So I called him today and apologized. The war is not with Coffee. Duh. And in fact, I'm grateful he brought this to light. I will be taking accountability, apologizing, and coming forward with a plan in the near future. Thank you all for believing in this project and sticking with me. I know it's been bumpy, but your support is everything to me, and I will make this right. Now look, this response here is actually mature. It's level-headed. I feel like somebody in Logan's inner circle has finally told him the truth, and he has finally listened to what he needs to hear. The only problem is that this is the response that we should have gotten in the first place. Logan calling his video rash just has to make anyone laugh because he's had weeks to prepare this. He's known this is coming. It's not like Coffee put out his video and then a day later, Logan turned around and came through with this knee-jerk reaction of a video. No, this was planned, premeditated, and plotted out. So I'm not fully buying this whole, oh, I made a mistake. No, you doubled down on your situation. In fact, you tried to go all in. You tried to threaten Coffee. You tried to bully him with a lawsuit. And then what happened was you finally talked to some lawyers who knew what they were doing, and they advised you that you have no chance in hell of winning a defamation case when you're sat there making a video trying to defame someone else. On top of that, we all know, like I pointed out in my previous video, the one-party consent rule with Texas. Logan has nothing on Coffee recording the phone conversation, so there's really no loopholes that Logan can exploit with the situation. And honestly, considering the text about market manipulation and all the other scams going on, I don't really think that Logan wants Discovery to just show all the receipts and everything that has gone down with this case. And I know that there were a lot of YouTubers who were kind of rooting for a lawsuit to happen, not because they wanted to see Coffee taken to court, but because they wanted Discovery to happen for Logan's just full scam to be completely blown up and revealed in reverse Uno card, so everything just blows right back in his face. I think what we see now is someone who is just really trying to save his reputation. It's like you make a mistake, you mess up. The other person gives you a chance to apologize for that mistake, to take responsibility, to take accountability, and to make it right. So you go away, you think about it, you reflect on it, then you come back to the situation, and instead of shaking hands and finding a way to move forward, instead you just like try to punch the other person in the face, you attack them, you throw shade left and right, you don't claim any accountability for anything. And I think honestly what Logan has showed here is his ability to make just dramatic miscalculations. He made a huge miscalculation in terms of putting together and running the business of CryptoZoo. He made a miscalculation in the team and the talent that he hired when he hired a bunch of criminals, and surprise, surprise, they frauded everyone. He made a miscalculation in his response video to Coffee. And I think the biggest miscalculation of them all is that he has misjudged his own fans. You see, when Suicide Forest happened and Logan made his big apology video and then he went on this arc of redemption and self-character growth, a lot of his audience was younger then. But what I think he's failed to realize is that his audience, like him, has not existed in a time capsule. As time has gone on, they've gotten older. They've gotten smarter. And I really think he thought he could just pull the wool over a younger audience, misdirect everything. People would follow his circle logic. People wouldn't sit there and think critically of what he's saying, of what he's doing. They would just follow more of the emotive arguments, more of the passion that he's doing, just follow the words that he's saying instead of actually looking at the base facts, looking at the receipts, looking at the greater picture. And sure, maybe a younger mind could be easily swayed and misdirected by all this bluster, but Logan's audience has grown up. It's not just kids anymore who watch his content. I think the other big player in this situation too is that you've had Cofeezilla expose this, and Coffee has an audience who's more logical, who's more mature, who's more understanding of things. And then after he published his video, a lot of other YouTubers who have smart audiences, who have more mature audiences started covering this situation. So you've had a lot of people not buy into the bullshit that Logan is trying to spoon feed us all, but instead they've flipped the situation, they've pointed out the flaws, and they've armed a lot of their audiences with the arguments that they need to go back at Logan. So credit to YouTube and this community. Well done, everybody. I think we got a W here. And because of that criticism, because of that critique, Logan has finally been forced to realize that this type of response and this way of just trying to misdirect and blow smoke and mirrors in front of a situation instead of coming clean about it like he should have done originally has just completely blown up in his face now. Because by him publishing his response video, by him publishing his podcasts, he has now shared even more light on this Coffeezilla situation and this CryptoZoo scam. And he's realizing now that he can't just sweep the situation under the rug. And no matter what he does now, he's going to get controversy from it. He's going to get people asking hard questions. And it's come to the point now where I'm not surprised by this response. He literally pushed the chips all in and he failed. You know, everybody called his bluff. He flipped over his cards. He didn't have any winning hands, and he is not going to come out of this situation unscathed. So now he is finally doing damage control. Now he is going to take ownership of the situation and take the path that a lot of people have been screaming that he take. Which leaves the question, is he an opportunist just trying to save his career and salvage what little there is left of his reputation? Or is he truly sorry about this whole CryptoZoo scam? I mean, one of the issues I still have is that while he pulled down his response video, his podcast, where he went and talked about CryptoZoo for, over an hour and a half, has still been left up. Him still saying that he's going to sue Coffee. Him still saying that this wasn't really a scam. It's not my fault. How did Coffee not realize all these criminals work for me? I can't believe he didn't do his background checks properly. But wait, was I supposed to be background checking? Oh, no, it doesn't matter. And he's got a bunch of yes men around him throughout this, like hyping him up, patting him on the back, him playing the victim card left and right. Oh, it is a total shit show of a podcast. You know what? Let's watch a little bit of it.
What Logan ideated in his head of a really cool idea is actually somewhat complex.
Which is, by the way, hard for me to swallow.
Okay,
and I have a vision and an idea of these things, and then I say, Jeff, here's what I want to make. Here's what I want to do. And then people are put in place to attempt to make that happen.
I mean, it's hard to swallow. It's really hard to process that I had an idea and it didn't come to fruition. Shame. I mean, I have an idea that one day everybody can ride to the moon on purple unicorns. And, I tell my manager, hey, this is my vision. It's a great thing I've ideated. Let's bring it home. But then you come to find out the unicorns are on strike and they formed a union. And yeah, I don't want to get into details. We'll get there one day.
Here's what I want to do. And then people are put in place to attempt to make that happen. And when it was found out that either A, they had ill intent, or B, were incapable of doing it, and then shit really hit the fan, what do I do? What do I do?
You hold your hand up and you take responsibility for the situation because you're the one in charge of this situation. What do you mean? What do I do? You communicate with your fans. You stay transparent about what's going on and you try to fix it. That's what reasonable, good, mature people would try to do in this situation.
When you're bringing Prime into the table and people are drinking it, being like, how the fuck is this product this good? When you're doing...
By the way, the whole Prime thing I really love because while Logan sits there and critiques Coffeezilla for having a Patreon, how dare he try to earn money over this situation through his Patreon? How dare he try to raise income while he sat here with just Prime everywhere, Prime left, Prime right, Prime in the middle. Yeah, keep going.
Prime into the table and people are drinking it, being like, how the fuck is this product this good? When you're doing these absolute, we're watching a superhero kill these side quests day after day after day after day, none of these quests would be completed without your team. And when you win, we celebrate together. But what I need this team to start doing is when you guys take a dip, you got to stop pointing the fingers at each other.
When all this broke, when we were in Qatar.
Wow, I mean, that was a harder cut than one of Riley Reid's films. George just sat there speaking some truth, finally being the voice that Logan needs to hear. And I would love to hear the rest of what George said. I love how he's only one or two sentences into obviously a monologue and a speech he's about to give everyone and just hit him with truth bombs. And they just throw up the shield and immediately jump cut to a new situation and a new story.
I saw this pain in your face, bro, and this emptiness in your fucking eyes when all this was breaking. And I remember thinking to myself, having been through a couple things, very minor in comparison to the ones you've gone through and are going through now, where I was railroaded by the internet on something that just simply wasn't true. I've been through a chunk of shit in my life, but I honestly don't know if I recall feeling like that. the feeling of not being able to say, yo, this is not what happened. You guys have it wrong. Even though you and everyone around you knows that you're being fucked and being railroaded by an incomplete or unsubstantiated story is one of the most painful fucking things in the entire world.
An incomplete or unsubstantiated story. That's exactly why you pulled down the Coffeezilla response video, right? Because if you stood by that, surely that video should stay up and you should still be in attack mode. I mean, the victimization of Logan Paul is just, it's staggering. He's got a bunch of yes men around him. He's got people going, no, Logan, you're the victim. How could all these horrible things happen to you? Oh my God, there's so many bad actors in this situation. It's okay, Logan. I know you feel bad right now. I mean, come on, this is still textbook narcissism right here. The focus is on Logan. The focus is not on the victims. The focus is not on the money that has been lost by all of these fans who believed in Logan and who invested in him. So you know what? Here's a way forward. You ready, Logan? 1, take down this foolish podcast. If you really are sincere about your call with Coffee, why do you still have this whole podcast up? This podcast should be taken down as well as a response video that you already took down. 2, since you're really about coming clean and trying to fix the situation, refund the people their money that they lost. He goes on in this podcast to say, man, I love my fans. There's no one more important than my fans. I'll take a picture with anybody. Well, in this case, it's not about just sitting down and taking a fucking picture with people. It's about making things right. People were scammed in this situation. You may have not taken any money, but the people that you hired took a lot of money. And you have a big bankroll. You have the ability to adjust this, to help people who are suffering financially. You're not going to suffer financially. Prime is absolutely killing it with KSI right now. You still have lots of content and lots of residual income and lots of revenue to make. So help the people who don't have the same opportunities as you. Help the people who don't have the same bank accounts that you do, because you can do it and not even take a hit financially. You won't even feel it monetarily. And 3, if you really, really want to move forward on this situation, fix the game. But hey, I know it's complicated. I know he'll make a big apology video now. He'll have his PR team write up something that he can just read verbatim from a script. And I'm sure that he'll take some responsibility, but also he'll find a way to continue to play a victim role. But overall, in terms of this Logan Paul situation, Coffeezilla's video, I think the internet and YouTube have taken a W on this one.